Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches. I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Serica.
No.
Maria. You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, your name is
Serica.
is literally just Erica.
We're not doing that
sounds
whole-
like
I
Sarah.
know, but confused with.
Do it.
Okay. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, we suck at podcasting. This episode, we're doing a book which is called
A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers.
Good Job. Teamwork makes the
Did
dream
I just
work.
read it? Yes.
I am very excited to talk about this.
So am I.
So why are we reading this book?
Because we asked our lovely listeners and our followers on Instagram what books they would want to recommend for us that are shorter. Because we were coming down to the wire.
This was a bunch of recommendations, right?
A bunch of people.
recommended
I
it.
think a couple folks said it. Quite a few said it on like in the answers part of the questions that Erica posted on Instagram. So yeah, that's where this came from.
And is this a popular book?
I don't know.
I had never heard of this.
I had never heard of it either. I think I saw the cover before, but not too many times.
Somebody had said, unless you made this up in the text message, I can't remember, but we were texting, you were sending all the books people were sending. You were like, somebody said Kristen would really like this book.
Book.
Yeah. And that was why I was like, oh, let me check out this one. Because there's like a couple other that I looked at. And this one just
It's got a lot of
awesome.
ratings. It's got 151,000 ratings, 27,000 reviews, and it's a 4.24.
Wow.
It's like right at Erica's.
And it's like
Yeah,
150
Very
pages.
short, 150
Yeah.
pages or so, 151.
So if you haven't read it, it's only 150 pages. Go read it, come back, and then we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about the spoilers. We're gonna talk about the whole book. So.
I think I read it on Everand as an audiobook.
It's on Kindle Unlimited.
I got
on
on Kindle
Kindle
Unlimited. Yes, so
Unlimited.
I did the audio on Everand and the physical, or I guess the ebook
It
on
took
Kindle
me
Unlimited.
2 hours on 1.8 point.
Oh,
1.8 speed.
I just read it. I didn't listen to anything. So
Nice.
I have a different
That's cool.
perspective, I guess.
But yeah, I would say there is a big difference between reading and
listening to this.
listening to this book.
Yeah.
I'm glad I read it. I like reading these types of books.
Not like in the most bad way.
Yeah.
Like I think we had different experiences reading it slightly.
Okay. Yeah, like how you perceive the robot versus.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about. All right, let's do a 60-second before we get into it because we're gonna go deep into mortality, existential dread, the whole nine. We're getting into it.
It's gonna be great.
Who's gonna do the 60-second? Because like Erica hasn't done one today, but this feels like a 60-second Maria would be better at. I look at her face. She knew I was gonna do it. You knew I was gonna do it because Erica's gonna give us the most asinine 60-second focusing
But
on
maybe
the
we
robot.
need that. You know,
I really want people to get the story
I'll
here.
get it. I'll tell them right after.
All right.
I'll do another 60 after her 60.
Okay, Erica, you're
Okay.
gonna have to do it. And I don't know why.
I just feel like the
I don't
last couple
trust you with
months
this
has
one.
been a lot of like Maria doing all of them.
You're right.
So.
You're right, Maria. It just sucks that you of all the retention, the people who can retain things in this group right here. There's 3 of us.
We're
right?
lucky I retain anything.
There's 3 of us. Okay. Of all these 3 people, there's one person in this group that can retain anything, and it's Maria. Okay, here we go. Maria?
Sorry, honey.
Nope. Erica.
You know,
doing
if
it?
you don't want to, I'll do it.
I want Erica to do it. All right. If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, Erica's going to do
A Psalm for the Wild Built.
I'm sorry. I have a hard time remembering that title. Plus, Wild Robot is on my mind. So I keep wanting to say a Psalm for the Wild Robot.
I kept thinking about Wild Robot.
And I don't want to fuck it up. So, who was the author?
Becky Chambers.
Thank you. Erica, are you ready?
I guess.
60 seconds or less.
no. Here we
In
go.
3, 2, 1, go.
I have no idea what the world looks like, but it seems like it was dystopian like type shit, and the robots became sentient and then decided that they did not want to be used by the humans, so they went off into the wilderness, never to be heard by again. This person Dex decided that they didn't want to like do the hustle and bustle, the grind of life, and went into the woods to like find themselves, I guess. I don't know, like
really good.
maybe some Oscawana,
30
I have no
seconds.
idea. And they come across one of the ancient robots, and the robot like on their journey somewhere else, I forget what the place was, and the robot was like,
15.
oh, you shouldn't go there. And the robot wants to learn more about the humans and whether or not the humans have learned from their mistakes. And spoiler, they
5,
haven't.
4,
and they talk
3.
about life. on their way to this place that Dex wanted to go.
Erica did great.
That was really good.
I wanted the
actually.
unhingedness, but all right. I guess
that
you could
was
be,
really
I think it's a
good.
little
I guess
unhinged.
I guess you retained everything.
Kinda. No,
You
I
did.
didn't
I don't know
understand
what
the
the
world.
I don't know
Didn't
where the
understand-
world was.
No. But I will agree that that's okay because I
It's
feel like
meant to be,
I feel like
yeah.
the world wasn't talked about too much. I did a lot of highlighting in this book. I think I haven't highlighted this much in a book in years.
Yeah, I did a lot of highlighting
But
too.
just
is crazy, 'cause it's only
just to
150
kind
pages.
of
Yeah.
cement ourselves in what the world is sort of like. We are in, I think of it like our society, but maybe 200 years into the future, maybe 250. And now there are different gods for different things, and there are different professions. And so the world itself feels, I feel like to me, it feels fantastical,
Yeah.
but also rooted in reality.
Agree.
So I can understand why it's hard to visualize it.
I totally
felt
agree
like
with
it
that.
was like Earth, but if we did a different timeline
Yeah.
in like the Renaissance.
It almost
Yeah.
felt steampunky.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say
I
steampunky.
was gonna say like right before the Industrial Revolution.
And I also
Like if
feel,
we did
I
we
know,
had
I was
like a
having
different
a hard time.
path.
I was like, is this like in the past with future techno? I agree with you on that.
But if
That's
you
a
I
good
think
had
point.
about-
no
but-
idea
Yeah.
where we were.
I think what it is it kind of retracts itself.
Yeah.
So when the robots left, that might have been our today's society.
Right.
And what they're learning from the robots leaving is they wanting to take that back.
I know,
Sure.
but what, like,
So the factories are gone. It's like,
It's all wild.
yeah, the robots really threw me
the
through a
monks,
loop.
like understanding, like there's the monks, and then they brought up a lot about the gods. They brought up a lot. There was a lot of words that were thrown out that we
Yeah.
have no idea what they mean.
And
I don't think we
it's
have
okay.
to.
I think it's
agree,
okay.
and I actually loved that. One of the first sentence.
the place
past-
we're in is Panga. That's where we're at.
Oh yeah, Panga. So past that first, which is interesting because isn't when all the continents were together, Pangea. I kept thinking Pangea when I was reading
Okay.
it, and I was thinking of Pangea. But the first sentence after the epilogue or prologue, says sometimes a person reaches a point in their life when it becomes absolutely essential to get the fuck out of the city.
Yeah.
As soon as I read that first sentence, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I was like, that's me. Get the fuck out of the city. Let's go. So that kind of like set up this world of like, all right, we're in the city. We're following this person, Dex, who was a monk, right? Is that
No. They become a monk. So they had a
Oh.
whole different job.
Oh.
And they felt
unclear
unfulfilled.
what the job was.
I don't think we're
Very
supposed to
unclear.
really know.
Yeah.
They had a whole different kind of job and they didn't like it anymore. They didn't feel fulfilled.
Get the fuck out of the city. Yeah.
And so they kind of fixated on wanting to hear crickets.
yeah.
And this time crickets are extinct. But they were like, well,
it's too quiet.
in the wilderness, we don't go where the robots are. Maybe they still exist out there.
But they're a tea monk, which I thought was the
They
coolest.
become a tea monk,
That's
yes.
the coolest fucking thing ever. Where they have am I reading this correctly? That they had a wagon.
Yes.
That they're pulling on a bicycle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought this was very steampunky and cool. Where it's like I have all my trinkets in the back.
I don't know why it felt East Asian to me.
I could see that too.
Like-
I could see that too.
Oh, it gave me like fucking like 1700s.
Okay,
gave
I didn't
me
feel that.
steam-
I felt
gave me
more like
steampunk.
I guess steampunk to me doesn't seem right because steampunk is rooted
More machine.
in machine.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think it was
it's
more,
more like human powered.
yeah, human powered, antiquated. It's
I don't know. I just
cute.
loved it. I loved the
It's
idea
cute.
of them like going around on their bicycle and being like, "Here's your tea." Like Katie
so-
would love this.
I loved it because they changed their job completely, right? And I think we talk about this a lot, us three, about like what we would do, especially in like our careers in
Yes.
the creative field.
Yes.
Sometimes I wonder like, what would I do if I wasn't in TV?
I think
And
about it all the time.
I can't visualize it because I haven't done anything else in my life besides TV.
Right.
Right. So Dex going and be like, forget it. Fuck it. I'm gonna start something new.
I love that.
And seeing them fail in the beginning, like their
Yeah.
first person that they have, their first
Yeah.
client, and they're like, you haven't done this before, have
Yeah,
you?
I loved
and they're like,
that.
it's my first day.
Yeah.
But then you see how they've grown over 2 years. They become such a great team monk. They're going from town to town. Everyone loves them, and they know exactly what you need when you need it.
I've never
Tea form.
related to a character more in my entire life.
Yeah?
First of all, I love tea. I love adventure, and I need the crickets. I need to go to the
Which is
place.
so fun. It's so funny because I felt so disconnected from Dex.
That's what, like all I would want to do. Like sometimes I think about this.
But
too,
you're
like,
the robot.
I think
I
about
know.
free will a lot. Like right tomorrow, I could just get up and go freaking hike into the Andes and never be seen again. I have that free will. And this person, Dex, was just like
Like,
yeah,
did
I'm gonna
that.
go do that. And I don't know, something about that
They
really
wanted
pumped
to,
me up.
they wanted to go to this place where they went as a child that a tea monk did.
Yeah.
Like
Something like that.
like it was like a shrine of some sort.
Yeah, it was
And
one of
they
their
had, like,
gods.
one of their gods.
So it's like no one even knows what truly is happening, but they've placed the sort of blame on different gods for why the world is the way it is, which is retracting.
Yeah.
We had all this technology, we had all this advancement, and then they realized it's uninhabitable, which is it could be a talk about.
Which feels like
feels like we're
feels like
yeah.
we're today,
headed,
and
which
they
is
sort
wild.
of went back.
So interesting. And I love the pocket computer because that's our cell
phone.
phones.
It's a phone.
And that's literally what we have. And like the fact that the robot, which we'll get into more about the robot, but being built by previous robots and like they're
I
kind
love
of
that. I loved that
don't-
so much.
I just the way that our world is going now with AI and like the way that not necessarily robots, but you know, technology is thinking for itself lately. It feels like a good time to read this book.
For the robots basically people started feeling bad that they were using robots, and because the robots were sentient, it felt like slavery.
Yes.
It felt like, and they gave the robots a choice, and they were like, you could still be robots, or you can like piece the fuck out and like live your lives.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, at one point, Dex is talking with the
Moscap.
robot, Moscow. I fucking love the
that's
name.
the name.
Moscap.
Yeah.
Because
the names are the best.
The names are what the robot sees for the first time when they wake up.
The names are so cute.
What Moscap saw was Moscap of Blood on It was like a long word.
Yeah.
But Moscap is their name.
So Moscap was like, or Dex was like, it's not fair. Like, I didn't choose this life. And Moscap was like, I didn't fucking choose this either. And like Moscap was like, or Dex was like, no, you did. Like, you chose to like be free. And Moscap was like, no, I didn't. My like 10 like gods before me did.
Right.
Like the
10
robots
versions before
the
me.
10 versions before me chose this life.
And Dex
Like,
couldn't figure out why they just had robots that would choose to no longer be not living, you know, but existing.
Yeah.
And so
Because they could be immortal.
Yeah,
and
they just chose
Moscap
not
is
to.
built off of different other like robots.
I thought that was really interesting.
It was a really interesting way to like look at society and look at like exactly like what we're kind of seeing now with like the emergence of AI.
I don't think
kind
they
of
would be this kind though.
discuss.
Like
No, I don't
AI
think so either.
now, the way we're going, it would be the opposite. It would be like the robots take over and kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this world, I love that the robots are adorable and like gives wild robot vibes.
Yeah.
Like there's so many funny little moments
Oh my
between the
God.
characters where
It was. I felt like the second half of the book was better than the first.
yeah, I agree.
Once
Once they
I
got
was-
together.
I was a little, and I think part of it was because I didn't really like Dex that much.
I loved Dex.
Is that I was kind of like, all right, like let's fucking crank through this. And then once Dex met the robot, I was like, fuck yeah.
Their relationship is
Moscap
cute.
But it's 'cause you relate
the
to Moscap.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You are
I
Moscap.
literally was like, I think I'm Moscap. That's
And
why I
feel
like
like Dex.
Same. I'm with you, Maria.
I feel like
To a
Dex
T.
often.
To
but
a T.
I
Especially the
understood-
anxiety
But I
of-
understood what Dex was saying when like they were talking to Moscap.
Yeah.
Like I understood. Like I agreed with those sentiments. Like it's not like I didn't like ever, but I felt more connected to the robot because the robot Moscap was like, life is life. Like you just have to fucking go.
Right. No,
And there was just like a freeness about Moscap.
There is, but I felt like it was a little bit dismissive too of the want and the need of being a human and saying like I need a purpose. Like I feel like
That was the soul of this book is like purpose.
So I do feel like as a human, it makes sense to want to have a purpose in life. Or like you feel like what me and Maria were just saying, like sometimes we would think like, what if we just quit and did this other thing? Like I always feel like I'm missing something because the world is so big. Like we're missing everything. So like I relate hardcore with Dex's like, I need a purpose. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for something, some sort of fulfillment. And I agree, like, yeah, every now and then it's nice to
sometimes-
just be just to be.
But sometimes the fulfillment is not an end. And that's what the Moscap was saying
Right.
is that like I think the reason I'm probably relating to this even more so than normal is I'm in it right now with maternity. I'm on a maternity leave and my soul, and I've never, when you're on maternity, like you're not working, you're not doing what you're normally doing. You're not like, my only day to day is just keeping children, like this child alive. And like, I'm not writing a book. I'm not like working. I'm not meeting quotas. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you're being
I don't
a mom.
have goals right now. I'm just trying to fucking like get through my days.
Yeah.
And I have a really hard time because I'm a checkbox person. So it feels like I wasted the last 3 months of my life, but I need to come to the realization that maternity leave is a bonding experience. Like there is the means to the end is there is no end.
But I think a lot of people have that purpose where they're like, I just want to be a mom. Like there are people who go to the ends
but
of
it's
the
not
world
even a
to do
purpose.
that.
It's
But I'm
it's
just-
more so like the experience of like connecting with your child
Right.
is the purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Moscap was saying is like sometimes it isn't a goal, it isn't an end. It's the like
it's
the journey.
it's the journey of
There was a couple
of
moments,
life.
though.
No, but that's what I got out of what Moscap
See, I
was
don't
saying.
think I read it that exact way. I think I read it differently. So maybe that's just how I
I'll
interpreted
try to
it.
find
was-
some. Like I know I highlighted a lot of moments of these things.
Where did you
Yeah.
where were you on that? Did you feel
With
like Moscap
Moscap?
was like saying
No, I felt like Moscap was telling them like, yeah, I understand you want to have, but you also don't have to. Maybe you have one now and then it goes
later
away.
you don't. Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
I
Like,
think Moscap was
you
saying
go
that
through
the
seasons
The journey
of,
of
like-
life
Right.
is what you want in that current moment, and like not having that purpose just now does not make you any less of a person. It does not make you any less of like.
oh, that was
of a
fucking awesome
purpose.
too when Dex like tried to call Moscap like a person and then was like, oh no,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
like an
yeah.
animal.
Yes.
And then Moscap was like, I'm not less of a thing just
Is
because
it
I'm not.
like you said, you're a machine, and machines only work because of numbers of logic. That's how we function, not how we perceive. The robot thought hard about this. Have you ever watched Ants? And then they went into the ant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was also very interesting. Like, it's okay to be a machine. Like, it's not
Like
just
I'm not
numbers.
less than you because
Yeah.
I'm different than you.
I
or,
totally
like-
agree with that. That
And Moscap was talking
yeah.
about the other robots that they know are like one robot is watching stalagmites form. That's all they're doing. It's like,
Yeah.
is that purpose any less than what you're trying to do?
And I feel like I feel like Moscap's like vision of life resonated with me. Of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I feel that.
I'm doing something different than what you're doing, and what we're both doing is fine.
Yeah. There's
I
no
feel
right or
that.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I could feel that.
For me, it was very much the not having enough or not feeling enough. Like
Yes.
Dex was feeling
Yes.
like now that they've switched careers and they became a T-Monk and they're thriving in it, they're like, I'm making people happy. I bring joy. Why is it not enough for me?
I totally agree with that.
And I think that is something that everyone feels.
Yeah.
At some point or
for
another.
Dex, it felt like it was very like detrimental.
yes.
That's what I mean. That's what I related to Dex in that, but then I also disrelated to Dex in that because I was like, I don't let that consume me.
Here's
Yeah.
the most relatable thing I think Dex said, and I think you could totally agree with this.
Watch
but
it be the one I'm looking at right
I
now.
stopped bringing it up, and then I just stopped talking to them altogether because I couldn't explain, and I was tired of pretending like everything was fine.
Yep.
I went to the doctors to make sure I wasn't sick in that head was okay. I read books and I don't know that word, text and everything I could find. I threw myself into my work. I went to all the places that used to inspire me. I listened to music and looked at art. I exercised. I had sex and got plenty of sleep and ate my vegetables. And still, something is missing. Something is off. So how fucking spoiled am I then? How fucking broken? What is wrong with me? That right there.
I think a lot of
teared
people-
up. That's where I teared up. I literally
teared up
teared up just
too.
reading this. But just like I think that's the most human
Experience.
thing is that we can have every single thing. And it's the same quote as money can't buy happiness, which I think is bullshit because
Yes, it can.
it buy you safety, which can bring you happiness. But the point is, we all want more. We all,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, yes, we're getting through the day, but at the end of the day, like, I feel like I need more. Like I should be doing more. I should be
But
helping
is that
more.
society making you think that way?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like my thing is like I've always said I'm an optimistic nihilist where I always at the end of the day think like we're gonna die, that's gonna be it, none of this actually fucking matters, but I'm optimistic about it.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I fall in love with my husband. I'm like, oh, this is my purpose. My purpose is relationships. It's having these conversations. It's us hanging out. It's like when I die, I know that like I left a mark with my friends, with my family, and they can carry those memories on. Like I think that's the whole meaning of human existence. Like I don't know. So that this book just like made me at
Think
the
a
end of
lot.
it, I was like, oh, this is so good and
so
powerful.
It hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting because
Agreed.
I'm in this right now. Like I said, like I'm
Yeah.
in this moment of like
getting
I don't know where I am. Like motherhood is hard and you lose purpose, but you also find it, and it's different.
It's a weird
such a good point.
It's not as
That's a good point.
finite
Yeah.
as a job.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I am doing we all are doing, and you're doing it in tandem with other things too, right? Like I have the podcast, I have this, I have that. Like there's all these other things that you're doing, and like I related to the idea of Moscap being like just it's the ride and like the logistical side of their how they like viewed the world.
I like that. Maybe I read it. Like, I think when I read it, I might have just read it wrong and like didn't interpret
just
it
no wrong.
No,
You
because
probably
how
just read it
you're saying
differently.
it, that's beautiful. I love that. And I think if I had interpreted it that way, I would have had a different experience on it. I mean, I definitely relate to Dex with the anxiety of needing. And
It's
wanting
funny
more.
that we
the
the three of us related to different people,
Portions of it,
or
yeah.
not people, but different things in that book.
Yep.
And I think that everyone would read this and I think you would be in one of two camps.
And I think that's why.
or both camps.
Now I'm thinking about this. I think that's why Dex is non-binary because it's not. Because a lot of times as women, we're given a certain societal, norm, societal pressures.
Ooh.
Be a mom.
Good point.
Yep.
Be the perfect wife. Be that. But Dex is non-binary. You can be male, female, whatever it is, and still feel the same thing.
Ooh.
I actually think
That's a good point. Like
Right?
the I don't know, like the human experience.
It doesn't have a gender.
the lack of
damn,
gender.
Maria.
the lack of gender, I think, did this book a service.
Yeah.
A very good service. I loved it.
That's
on
a
both
really good
parts,
point.
on
Yeah.
both the
the robot
and
being an it too, and them like going through like what are you like a they, and the robot's like I'm a robot, like I'm
Yeah,
a material,
I'm just an
I
it. I'm an
exist.
it.
I love that.
I'm an it. I love that Musk was like,
Yeah.
I'm an it, and that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I
And
thought that
but
was really
then
well
being
done.
like, I'm not less than you because I'm a fucking it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
This would be a really cute animated.
I think it's
I
short.
was so,
movie.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Like a short.
I was so happy that there was no romance in it.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
I would have been
was
pissed
so
if there was.
happy that there was no even mention of a romantic
Yeah.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. I loved it.
What did you picture, Dex?
Dex to me, it's tough because I have a tough time picturing characters. I just like
Same,
I don't know.
yeah.
I just go with the flow. But I figured they definitely had longer hair.
Tell me
right?
why I picture them as a
Oh.
wizard.
Did
Like,
they,
I don't know.
Did
I
they
don't know.
say they had long hair?
Yes.
Oh, really?
They always talked about
Oh, I
having the
missed that.
shaggy hair in their head, and they have to like move it out of their
Oh,
face.
true. Yeah.
I pictured a buzz cut, so that
Yeah,
was
no, they
tough.
had longer.
pictured
I
short.
think of the hair that
I think because of the
Adam
monk.
Driver has.
Monk.
The monk
that
fucked
got
me
me.
up.
That
Yeah,
threw me.
I think that's.
And
what
I think
was-
they were monks and not a normal monk
that's
way.
adding a stereotype to
I know.
to a look.
I know.
But it was weird because it was like tea monk and like this type of monk. So I don't think it was like the same monks that we
Yeah, it's not the
know,
monk that we know,
right?
No, but I immediately thought of a shaved
No,
head.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I thought of them as skinny,
Skinny too.
Skinny,
I got skinny vibes.
tall,
Tall.
obviously
Same.
toned because they're pedaling a bike all day,
I was picturing skinny and tall.
and
That
a
was
little
it.
bit tan because I would assume if they're going through the world, they're in the sun.
And in a suit. I don't know why. I pictured
Not a
them in
suit.
a suit.
I pictured
So,
like
I have
a
the
white.
person-
Why do I
top-
have them in a suit?
A white top and like khaki slacks that are like at the knees.
I love that. That
and
makes
then
so
like the
much
shaggy,
sense.
shaggy brown
Picture
hair.
a little rock climber, you know, like that people
kind of
hang
a
out
little
with.
rock climber, a little hipsterish.
Yeah.
You know, I think of a little hipster.
I feel that. But
From
what do you-
Billions.
I've never seen that before.
can I tell you how I picture the robot?
Yeah.
Wild robot.
Yeah,
To a
same,
T.
same.
She said She said Wally with a chin.
Yeah. Something like that.
did you
The person from Billions.
Okay, I can see
Yeah,
that. Didn't
but
you
just
say
long hair.
Didn't you say you pictured
Wally. I pictured Wally with a sharp chin.
Wally?
with like a
She said
goatee?
She said in our text, she goes Wally with a
The
chin.
fact that it was on an 8-hour flight, it just
Wally
shows
just
I can't
has
see
the
anything.
big eyes
I
and
missed the
there's
entire
something-
conversation.
I know. She did say
did
Wally
you-
with a chin,
Yeah, I said Wally with a chin.
I didn't get none of
which
this.
is a wild vibe.
because I didn't get any Wi-Fi.
Well,
on
how'd you
fucking
picture the
American.
robot?
I pictured Wild Robot right now,
Really?
like the animation, because it kept coming up on
The
my Peacock.
eyes and
the
stuff,
eyes
yeah.
but the eyes were red.
And just so cute though.
But I thought of them very maybe like remember iRobot with Will Smith?
Yeah,
Something like that.
I can see that.
I thought it was, but not white, like silver.
I just like their relationship was really adorable, and I wanted to bring this up earlier where it was like pretty playful and there was funny moments and
so many funny moments.
I thought the robot was it was cute.
It was light and it was funny and it explored a really heavy subject
Without making you feel too much dread.
without it not being dreadful, without it. And you know what? The book didn't have a purpose.
I mean,
That's
There
the
was no
point.
purpose of the purpose.
That's the
Like,
point.
wait, but this
it was-
part is the one that I want to say where it was like the robot crouched trying to align itself with Dex's height. Does this help? That's more condescending than anything. So like that's the relationship that I was trying to
I
get
love
at.
when-
It's like
when-
it's adorable.
When Dex made their food,
yeah.
and they're like, something's wrong.
Yes.
And Moscap's like, what do you mean? No, something's wrong. I shouldn't just be eating and you're not eating. But they're like, but I don't eat.
Yeah.
It's like, right, but still it doesn't matter. Something's wrong. Hold on. Takes half their food, gives it to Moscap, and they're like, okay, I feel better now. They're like, but I'm not gonna eat it. And
What do you want me to put it in here and it'll
God.
start
yeah, and then
rotting?
they're like, okay, well, how about this? Are you gonna finish that? No, cool, I'll take it.
Yeah, and
And
then
it
they
was
felt
the
better.
cutest little like interaction. But it shows
Moscap
that
was so excited to cook and to make. Remember when Moscap made the fire?
Yeah.
And they were like,
I do want to talk about the end
Yeah.
of the book. So the end is like you said, at the end, it's like it's not that it all mattered. It was just a story to tell a story, but there's
Yep.
like all that meaning.
It's like we were plopped into a scene.
Yeah. And then it ended with them with the robot figuring out the fire, right? Made
Yeah.
them a cup of tea. It's adorable. Erica had texted us and was like, oh my God, not Wild Robot. What was it? You're like, oh my God, this book, I cried. So the whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, when am I going to cry? When's the robot going to die? That was all I could think. I was like, this robot is going to
What?
die. There is no doubt in my mind.
I want you to read the text, that part of it where you're like, Erica, I told you.
I was so mad at you because don't tell me I'm going to cry. So the whole time I'm expecting the robot to die. The robot doesn't die. This beautiful scene happens. I was like, that was cute. I would have definitely cried and teared up if you didn't fucking tell me about it.
What? I'm sorry. At that point, I'm on your side.
No, it
I'm on
ruined
your
it.
side, Erica.
saying
It
I cried
ruined
during
it.
a book is not.
It
a
ruined it
spoiler.
for me. Yes, it is.
There's
It
It didn't
no
ruin it for you. You still had a
way.
good
It
time.
was all I was thinking about. When is the
Why?
robot gonna die?
Your problem.
Because you told me you cried. I don't want
Maybe
to know.
stop thinking about that
such a-
purpose.
That's
I
such a
don't
weird.
wanna
like,
know.
That's so weird.
I don't wanna
That is
know.
So weird.
that you cried.
I'm in the middle of that. The whole like,
No.
don't tell me anything, so I don't want to be like influenced by anything you say.
You said, LMAO, I finished Psalm for the Wild, cried. Also related to the robot more than the human. I said, please shut the fuck up. Thank you. And then I hit you with the, I just
She's-
learned how to do text effects.
Yeah, Erica's,
yeah.
Chris is
So you
doing a lot of
know
like
I was
effects.
yelling. You know I was yelling.
To be fair, I did think that you already finished it.
I know
I
you,
had finished
I know you
it.
did. But also, I also sent this picture of the wild robot and tell me that's not.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, you
See,
missed
I
all
didn't
these.
picture the robot
Round.
to have as much limb.
Okay.
Like
too much
I
limb.
thought it was like a little compact,
shorter?
little
Yeah.
fuck.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, anything else you want to add about this?
I just think people should read it. I really do.
I think so too. I think I want to pick up another Becky Chambers books because I love how it was written.
I think they write other books similar to this.
Yeah, I think because the
think
next
this
title that I
is
saw
their
sort of
vibe.
like matches that vibe. So I definitely want to read more of Becky Chambers books.
I also love that it was short.
yeah,
Love that
150
it was
pages.
Chef's
But it
kiss.
just shows you can do a lot in 150 pages.
Yeah.
It also kind of inspired me to like think about a book that's short like this
Yep.
and meaningless like this. Not meaningless, but
But-
like not plot driven.
Doesn't have to be too much pressure behind it.
Like you can write something.
Give me
that's
more nature
not-
books. Like, take me back into that. I fucking love the second that they were on that adventure. I was like, oh, we're hiking through the woods.
And what's interesting is that
Give me more hikes.
Dex never got the crickets, but it's okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about the crickets.
because they didn't
didn't
even
exist.
care
Because it
about
did
the
end right
crickets.
with the fire and the tea.
the fire.
Yeah.
what comes next?
Basically, it kind of is implied that the robot's gonna go with Dex
Right.
and go from town to
And
town to
about-
learn more about.
But
the
it's like, okay,
humans.
what happens when it learns about the humans? Like, what do we get from that?
They go back. They go back to the robots.
Oh, the other thing that I really
do you think they'll ever
related
get back together? What?
to the robot was like, the robot was like, everyone has concentrations, and they figured something out that they really liked, and that's what they like do. And the robot was like, I like everything, and I want to learn about everything. And
that's so true.
I don't know a lot about this one thing. I know a lot about everything. Or I know a little about everything, and
I
that's
love that.
always how I've described myself.
It
is
gave
like,
me Lou vibes.
I know enough, like the littlest amount
Yep.
about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that I was like, I'm the fucking robot.
I have
in
a
this.
friend,
I'm
Lou,
Dex.
who we used to like do the
Lou
studio
is
with.
that.
Lou has done every job. He knows how to like. He just randomly will come over and be like, I could play with fire now, and he's like throwing fireballs. I was like, oh, this is new. He was like a professional yo-yoer for a minute, and then all of a sudden he was a mailman for like a week, and then he was
a
like
podcast studio owner.
Yeah, he did this podcast studio. Yeah, he was a mailman, and then he's like, oh, I'm doing dentist stuff. Oh no, I'm doing like PT. I'm like,
now I'm doing psychology.
Where are these jobs coming from? And then I love that.
I always respect that he's done that.
Me too.
Like,
I love it.
I commend the idea of being able to step away from things and not feel the anxiety stopping you. 'Cause that's what I think of all the time. Like,
I know,
again,
same.
with my career, like I love my job. Don't get me wrong.
Same.
But there are times I'm like, what if I just owned a bookstore?
So Maria, everything
What if I was a librarian?
See, everything we want to do now. So like I was like, oh, I want to go be a park ranger. They're fucked. I want to go be a teacher. They're fucked.
Yeah.
I would love to do like a librarian thing. They're fucked. So it's like all the things that I love is just getting destroyed by the government. So it's kind of like, well, here we are.
Yeah.
We're stuck forever.
It's a bleak time.
Anyway,
On that note,
don't worry. In 5 to 10 years, it'll be better.
We'll see.
God willing.
We'll see. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 5 years. All right. Let us know if you read this book. Very great recommendation. See, this is why I love Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, if you want to go over there and check us out, just go to books underscore
so
N
good as host of you.
underscore Betches.
Wow.
BETCHES. Click the link in the link tree. You'll find our
YouTube and Goodreads profiles if you want to follow us on there.
are they in
They're
there?
always on our descriptions.
Nice. You'll see our amazing reviews.
I'm also on Storygraph and Fable. I'm playing around.
There you go.
Follow
If you're not a Goodreads fan right now, I understand. There's a lot of boycotts happening. I get it.
I've downloaded Storygraph and I forget to even open it.
I was saying on the Discord last night because I had finished a book and I put the same review on all 3 platforms. And I put the thing, I was like, we'll see how long I'm able to do this. Because I want to be accessible for everybody who wants to follow what we do and how we write our reviews and stuff. Like, I get it. Not everybody wants to use Goodreads. Not everybody likes Storygraph. Not everybody likes Fable. I get it. But I'll have you the option for all 3.
Well, it's in our link tree, so go over there and you'll find it. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Meow, meow.